So at this time of year, the woodland floor is absolutely carpeted in our native bluebells. Now there's some simple ways that you can tell the difference between the Spanish ones. So looking at them here, the flowers have a real frill to their end, and the flowers often nod in a certain direction because they're all on one side of the stem. Our native bluebells also have a very distinctive vivid blue colour and are slightly scented, which is a bit different to the Spanish ones. Between April and June is our peak colour season for our rhododendron and azalea collection. So did you know that all azaleas are in fact rhododendrons? There are some really good tips to distinguish the difference between them. So I'm stood under a magnificent rhododendron here. Looking at it on a grand scale, rhododendrons are sprawling, large, much bigger plants than azaleas. They're also mostly evergreen, so they keep their leaves all through winter. And then when they're actually flowering, you can look at the flowers for several different ways of identification. So they're quite bell-shaped, and looking at the stamens, which are these structures in the middle here, there should be about 10 in a rhododendron compared to an azalea. Then I have an example of an azalea over this way. So straight away you can see it's a much smaller plant, more dainty flowers. It also loses its leaves in winter, so it's deciduous. You can see they're just sprouting again now as it flowers. And then looking at the flowers themselves, they're more elongated, they're smaller, and the stamens, there's about 5 instead of 10, so half the number. So these tips are general rules, but as with most things there are exceptions. So there are deciduous rhododendrons and there are evergreen azaleas. We're really pleased to have been able to open the Pelargonium display house again this year after we had a year off because we had to downsize our collection. So down in the display house there is around 80 or so varieties. We're concentrating on the historic varieties that are really important to the collection. And normally we would be able to propagate some of these for sale in the shop. Unfortunately, we can't do that this year because we're building our collection again, but hopefully next year there will be some available in the shop. At the moment, we're just asking people to view from the outside due to social distancing, but hopefully during the summer people will be able to walk through again. So I was down here planting these Britisha about 2 years ago, and I'm just appreciating how well they've done. So in general they like a warm sunny wall like this old original wall here, and they're perfect for these kind of hostile situations where there's not a lot of soil but you want something to fill space. So when I put these in, they're about the size of a tablespoon, a little plug plant, and you can see just how much it's taken off. They also come in a wide variety of colours. You've got the purples, pinks and whites, so brilliant just to fill the space. And we hope to plant more along this area in the future to brighten it up. A slightly less well-known plant, this is a type of laurel, so this is Portuguese Laurel. You don't often see it flowering, but it is used a lot as a hedging plant, but of course it gets cut back every year and the flowers don't get a chance to blossom. But it really is absolutely beautiful spires of a kind of creamy white flower and brilliant for the pollinators. We also have around 30 acres of it here, so where we can we try and leave bits for a little while so they can flower, but otherwise we cut them to a waist height to keep them in check and to keep them as a beautiful forest covering for our 18th century style planting.